everyone. My name is Star, and welcome to another Mental Health Monday. Today, I want to talk about how, diet culture kind of affected me growing up as a disabled person, because I don't really see that many disabled people talking about how diet culture affected their disabilities. Uh, Most of my disabilities are mental health disorders. Excuse me. Uh, But I have grown up with one physical disability that definitely is my biggest insecurity. I have a genetic disorder called oculocutaneous albinism class 1A, and that is the most severe type of albinism. And what oculocutaneous albinism is, or OCA, uh, OCA is a genetic disorder characterized by, in my case, no pigment at all. Like, you can't tell what race I am because I don't have a skin color like everyone else does. Like, for example, Asian people kind of have, I would say, like a golden-ish color, like a very pretty golden brown. Like, like there's like one end of the spectrum of skin where you could be really dark. Like, I've met Asian people who are darker than some black people I know. I just realized I stopped recording because I had a burp, and I just now processed that. I don't know why there was such a delay in my processing just now. Uh, but uh, a lot of my insecurity is because of my oculocutaneous albinism class 1. I wish I had color in my skin like everyone else. I think different skin tones are fucking cool. That's all I gotta say. Like, it's amazing that one person could be a different color from the other. I don't know why, but I think that concept is actually pretty cool. Uh, which I see other people who had color in their skin growing up, and I've always felt left out because, like, I'll have friends being like, "Yeah, I went to go tan and it was fun, and we just sat and talked." And I'm like, I can't be outside for more than an hour without sunscreen. The reason why it's a bit longer uh, in Alaska is because the sun's rays are less intense. So I am able to go without sunscreen for longer periods of time, given the place that I live. Not gonna say exactly where, but it's in Alaska. But growing up, like, dude, in the early 2000s and the mid 2010s, like, being tan was so in. Sorry. Uh, and I would often see friends of mine like tanning, and then they look so beautiful after, and that was the first time I ever felt insecurity about my skin was when I remember one of my first memories in school is like me sitting around with a bunch of, was I in preschool at this time or in kindergarten? I don't remember, but I know for sure it was before 3rd grade. Like, there would be people sitting around me talking about, like, "Oh, yeah, I got the tan, and I love it," and I'm like, "Oh, I can't experience that." And then, in that moment, I was like, "Oh, something is very wrong with me. I'm not like these other people." It it was really hard growing up knowing that I am not like everyone else. Growing up disabled is really, really hard. because there happens other instances where people will be like talking about going on diets. And I thought, well, if I can't control what my skin looks like, I could control my weight. I remember being 7 or 8 years old, looking in the mirror and just seeing a really ugly and disgusting person. And it's hard growing up like that with such bad body dysmorphia. I think I might have gotten it from my mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family has a little bit of OCD. I'm not gonna say exactly what kind or anything, but both sides of my family have a history of mental health disorders, so that put me at higher risk for developing mental health disorders. Which in my case, I was born with autism. I've shown signs of autism ever since I was a baby. And I was a nonverbal for the first 4 years of my life. Um, but growing up with a physical and a mental disability at the same time, nobody talks about what it's like to grow up with both physical and mental disabilities. I've only ever seen disabled people experience one kind of disability. In my case, I am medically complex, uh, which means I have more diagnoses than most people with disabilities do have. Mine are more significant than a lot of other disabled people. Like most, believe it or not, most disabled people find their own way to be able to survive fairly well. Like, I figured out ways that work for me to be more independent, and I don't see why there are other people there wouldn't be like other people like above a level of me because I've met those people, and some of my family members are disabled, but they live on their own. Well, except for like one of my grandparents, she doesn't live on her own. Uh, she used to, but I don't think she does anymore. I don't know. Uh, but also another part that was really hard growing up is like I've had people say like, Are you adopted?" Because my skin and hair and eyes don't look the same as my family members. Uh because I have albinism, obviously. You guys could tell I am albino as fuck. Uh but like it was also hard because I felt like I didn't look like my family, and I felt like the odd one out in my family. And it it was really hard sorry. It was really hard growing up. My parents would tell me I'm beautiful all the time, but I never believed them because around like 8 or 9 is when my hallucinations and delusions started getting intense. So that also amplified my like I think I have body dysmorphia because my self-image is so debilitating that sometimes I literally stay in bed and cry all day because of how bad I feel about my appearance. Um, like growing up with albinism really fucked me up mentally. In my opinion, a lot of people with albinism romanticize their condition, but I hate everything about my albinism. Except for the fact I could dye my hair whatever color I want and not need to bleach it. That's good, I guess. But I would willingly give that up if it meant that I could have all the things that I need. I mean, like, all the things that I feel like I lost because of my albinism. Like, don't get me wrong, I love dyeing my hair without using bleach. But it's worth the sacrifice if you could live a higher quality life. But because my appearance is greatly Sorry, that's a tick. Greatly, like, altered by my genetic disorder. I've always been more insecure than the average person about their appearance. I think also being legally blind on top of having multiple mental disorders kind of make my body dysmorphia go through the fucking roof, bro. Like that shit is in outer space, okay? Like that shit is in outer space. Like holy shit. I struggle with so much body dysmorphia you wouldn't believe. Sometimes I don't believe that I'm struggling with it. I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. By the way, I've been playing The Sims throughout this whole video. uh, but my body dysmorphia is very disabling for me as well. Sometimes I have to carry emergency makeup in case something goes wrong somehow. And yeah, just like growing up looking different is really hard. It is really fucking hard. Um, but growing up looking different because of a genetic disorder, like there's no surgery that could fix it for me. There's no treatment for me. All I can do is like adapt to looking different, and all I can do is like try my best to ignore people making rude comments both offline and online. I've been accused of doing drugs because of how pale I am. Yeah, I'm not kidding. It's that bad. Like, I got accused of doing drugs, and I'm like, listen, the only drug I do is the marijuana. I'm saying it differently for obvious reasons because he can't say the actual word. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The grass that you. I'm talking about weed, okay? Well, I guess if I say it once in the video, it's not that big of a deal. Um, but yeah, growing up looking different is really hard. And also, ever since I was a baby, I self-harmed. So people knew something was wrong with me when they saw like random injuries all over my arms and legs and like bite marks. Yes, I did bite myself. I was that crazy as a kid. Sometimes I still struggle with biting myself, but most of the time when I do bite myself, I don't realize I'm doing it until like I'm like, why is there blood all over my arm? But it mainly only happens now when I'm really stressed and I am completely not like, how do I describe this? Like you're not there mentally. Like you don't remember, and then all of a sudden you're like, why is my hand bloody? It's not funny. It's not funny. I'm sorry. Like being this vulnerable is hard for me sometimes because I'm like, oh God, what if I'm making someone uncomfortable? But I took some cannabis edibles before this video, so maybe that's why I'm able to talk more freely, if that makes sense, because that anxiety isn't there. In fact, I have been able to do more because of it, which I'm happy about. Uh, But like another thing that's also a trigger for my body dysmorphia, like, is seeing my scars, seeing my face, and I have facial scars from like scratching at my face. Uh, like having scars all over your body can also make you feel very insecure. Um, I even have scars on my lips. They become more visible when dead skin shows up because it like makes the lines of the scars more prevalent, but you guys can see all the scars I have on my lips and on my face. Uh, but I also decided to stop using filters on any of my posts, unless it's like the fun filters, not the beauty filters. It's the ones that are just meant to look like not beauty. Like, you know what I mean? The filters that make your face look smooth and clear. And I'm like, I want to be more honest online. So I've decided from now on, no more filters. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be a VTuber. I still love, like, for example, the Hello Kitty Instagram filter. But I'm not going to use any more filters that alter the way my face looks entirely. Because this is the face that my mom and dad created. I don't know why there's more of a smile line on one side than the other. Maybe it's a dimple? Um, no, I have it on both sides. I have a weird. But another thing about my body dysmorphia, like I'm not officially diagnosed with it, but now I'm gonna start talking to my therapist about getting tested for eating disorders and body dysmorphia and all that. Because throughout my whole life, I've always struggled with food in literally every way possible. I either eat too much, not enough, and I either try to get rid of it in any way, shape, or form, or I do like ridiculously dangerous things like restricting for multiple days. I mean, I'm not starving myself anymore, and I am 14 months self-harm free. Yay! Uh, but yeah, like also like with my albinism, I already got a lot of attention growing up as is. But when I started becoming more skinny to the point where you could see like my shoulder bones and shit, people would look at me and I thought they were looking at me in a positive way. But then looking back on it, I realized, oh, I looked emaciated, bro. I looked so anorexic. I'm not even kidding. You guys could go back and look at my older content when I was deep in my ED. Like, holy shit, it was bad. It was really, really bad. But, yeah, I don't know how to love myself because every time I try to, my body is like, hey, let's do this thing. So that way XYZ bad thing will happen, resulting in this. Like, that's what whatever chronic pain I have did, which caused more body dysmorphia because when you are in chronic pain, you can't exercise as much because it will hurt to the point where you feel like you're going to throw up or pass out. And this started before I gained weight, like 3 or 4 months before I even gained 1 pound. And then as soon as I hit the age of 21, I just started gaining weight like rapidly because I started binging and to like cope with my previous group home because they didn't do shit to help me and all they did was shove their fucking Christianity down my throat, which made me turn to Satanism. So maybe Jesus wasn't meant for me. Uh, but I would binge and purge, and I ended up gaining like 50 or 60 pounds within 2 months. Like, by the time like I lived there for a year, I gained like 70 or 80 pounds, I believe. And now, as of recently, I lost 30 pounds, which makes me 169 pounds. I am almost at a healthy weight again, which makes me really, really happy. The ideal weight for someone my size should be 130 pounds. My goal weight is 120 pounds because I want to have a low fat diet. And also, if I eat things with too much fat in it, I kind of get a little sick. Uh, I also just don't like fat in my food because I could literally taste it. And also, I know exactly how many calories I eat per day now, which is 120,000 calories, 2,000 at the maximum. And I also walk a lot. And, uh, yeah, so I've been working on being healthier. And slowly my appearance is going back to my normal appearance. Like more recently, I have less of a double chin now than I did a month ago. And my arms are less chubby. There's probably gonna be this finger forever, but I think that's like I've had jiggly parts of my arm even when I was skinny, I did. It's because I have really low muscle tone. Uh, but I'm trying to build that up. I could almost put my whole hand around it. And I have really tiny hands. Like, okay, this is my hand compared to a can of soda. That's, yeah, it's almost the same size as the soda can, bro. But yeah, what was the point of this video? I don't know. I just fucking yapped about my body dysmorphia. So I guess I'll just title this one like my experience with body dysmorphia. um but yeah, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.